The critics said it couldn't handle it. They claimed it sits too low, and they said it lacks the real adventure credentials. But Clubby has just proved them all wrong. He is back from a brutal 4,000 kilometre journey straight into the dead heart of the Australian Outback. We're pretty sure this is an Australian first for this machine. Now, that is a savage test for any motorcycle. It's even more insane when you realise this bike came straight off the showroom floor. No expensive mods, no custom suspension, just a fresh set of tyres. There is absolutely nothing like a massive, punishing ride to uncover the true capability of an adventure bike. We caught up with Clubby just a couple of days after his return to get the real story.
Motorcycle Adventure Dirt Bike TV is proudly supported by Liat, Giant Loop, Bikes Only Transport, Muck Off, Unifilter, Motul, Pirelli, Acerbis and Rally Raid products.
And remember, keep your filters clean and your throttle on.
I made it, Dave. Stoked to be home. Me, and more importantly, the KLE500 SE are in one piece after 3,900 kilometres it actually was, through the Aussie Outback, Broken Hill to Alice Springs for the 50th anniversary Fin Desert Race, and back again. And yes, we made it.
All right, I got to ask you, how did you go on those big open plains, Clubby?
Okay, the big open plains. So we did the Unidana track up and back. 600 kilometres, the full length going up, and then 400 kilometre section coming back. It'll sit on 110, 115 on the dirt with my guts aboard it, okay? So let's just set the record straight. I'm 105 kilograms in my gear. Bike load was light. Just had the Giant Loop, my RV with my tools, the tubes and spares. I had a Giant Loop fuel bladder on most of the times with another 4 to 5 litres backup. And occasionally I'd have my wet weather gear that we never needed in a little Giant Loop road bag on the back. So that was the load, and a tank bag with my camera. So not heavily loaded. Had to slow down a lot, but for every single dip out there. And I mean a lot, mate. I touched the brake lever, front at least, and sometimes rear, for every dip because I was not chancing that undercarriage. And that's going to be the second question I know you'll have, is how did the undercarriage survive it? And we're going to look at that in a minute, mate, yeah. So, it did it, mate, it did it. And then on the highways, it had a real sweet spot. 7,000 revs is about 125 kilometre hour indicated, and I could sit on that all day on the tarmac. Really good ergos. It's kind of slim here compared to some other bikes, but the screens are good size. I had it in the low position the whole way. I could just tuck my head to there. Wind blast went over me, 125 kilometres an hour all day at 7,000 RPM.
And Clubby, is this bike bog standard? So have you just ridden this out off the showroom floor, apart from that GPS, and just gone into the Outback?
Mate, I've taken the rubber inserts out of the foot pegs.
Yep.
I've taken the little hero knobs that screw into the bottom of the standard foot pegs. Stock foot pegs, just those two parts removed. Kawasaki supplied me with a radiator guard down here. Radiator guard,
I can see that.
Because the radiator is fully unprotected. I asked Kawasaki if a one-tooth larger camshaft was available. Couldn't supply it. And that's it, mate. I asked them, was there any option for a heavier Bashplate? No, this one on the SE is Kawasaki's heavy Bashplate, which again, we'll look at in a minute. But yeah, box stock, mate. Absolutely stock as a rock and away I'll be.
Apart from tyres, obviously.
Tyres, yeah, sorry, mate. They're Dunlop V606s.
Oh, yeah. Dunlop
just that's the rear fitment. It's a 17-inch rear wheel.
Yeah.
The standard tyre is a 140/70 profile, which is a real roadie-oriented size. I went a 130/90, 17-inch 606, which did stretch across the rim. I had no issues. But the biggest bonus of a knobby-oriented tyre like a 606, little bit more lift underneath, fraction more ground clearance on that rolling diameter. Yeah. So that was a little bonus.
Front tyres perform well?
Look, they both lasted well. Yeah. What you're looking at there is, 3,900 kilometres worth of use in them. I kept pressures pretty high, again, for the G-outs and the rocks. Yeah. The only issue, and I know 606s, I've run them forever, they're just noisy once they start to wear. Once you get up towards 2,000 kilometres of wear on the tarmac, when you're just dead straight, you want earplugs. And as everyone knows, I don't want earplugs. You can just move off the centre strip and the noise will drop. But yeah, they're a noisy tyre once they're sort of half worn at highway speeds on the tar.
Really keen to know about high speed running and big days in the saddle.
It just, look, I say about this bike, and I've always said this about a lot of small bore bikes, they don't beat me up. And this one, it was surprisingly comfortable on the highway for a 451cc twin cylinder bike. Two little pistons just hammering away at a minimum 7,000 RPM the whole time. But the ergos are good, and that wind protection is good. The motor, there's no bottom end. There's bugger all mid-range. There's nothing under 4,000 RPM. So the harder you rev it, the better it goes and the stronger it goes. It was more comfortable than I probably expected for a small bore bike, and I had no issues. I pull up, we did 600 kilometre days on the ride, you know, which was good down a track and then a bit of the Stuart Highway heading north. And look, I was pleasantly surprised by its ability relative to sitting on only 125 kilometres an hour. Yeah, it did it, mate. It did big miles okay for a 450.
Okay, Clubby, suspension, how did it go?
Oh, can you spell soft, Dave? S-O-F-T, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Look, it's road bias, you know, it's comfort for on-road use and gentle gravel, dirt road use, you know. We found that out that very first ride we did up through Yango. It's soft, mate, you know, I'm well outside the design brief for the, what do you call it, like the designated weight rider for sure. I just took the attitude of slowing down for every obstacle for fear of what might transpire down here with that limited ground clearance, mate. Couple of times, but that said, you still get caught out. And chasing those guys, the calibre of riders that I was riding with, particularly when we got on more remote sort of farm and paddock tracks, and it was dry, it was dusty, and you don't see culverts or washaways, and there's a lot of them out there. There's been so much moisture and rain out there in the centre. I had probably 4 times when I had the shit moments, and and you don't have enough power to launch off things. That's the other the point of I have to say about this bike. And the front end, mate, it would slam, and I'm amazed on 2 fronts. One, I didn't take any of my teeth out on the front fairing, okay? And the second thing, there's not a ding in that front rim. And I remember hitting 2 cattle grids so hard, I thought, that's it, my luck is out, I'm done, dusted, front tube replacement. The thing kept on going, so I must have just been riding it just light enough to avoid the hard hit. But yeah, soft is the word, Dave.
Yeah. Yeah, and the rims look intact.
Yeah, I'm amazed that front one hasn't got a 50-cent piece mark in it somewhere.
Now, I think we need to have the unveiling about that Bashplate.
Yeah, the Bashplate, that's what everyone's going to want to know about.
Yeah, let's have a look at this.
I'll get an LED, let's just pop it off.
Yeah.
And we can have a nice close-up look at it, mate. Eh? So, there's 6 fixing points for the Bashplate. 2, 2, 2, as you run down the length of the Bashplate. Yeah. I've come home with 5 intact. Okay, so let's just set that as a marker. You'll see on the middle one on the left, the Bashplate from various hits has pushed up around the fastener.
Right.
And that's why the bolt has ultimately let go.
Right.
And it's only light alloy, mate. Like, hear those sounds?
Yeah.
You know, do you remember tubular bells?
Yeah, you be
the music. Oh man, I'm pounding along. So that's where that second last one. Oh, hey, look. Here we go. Genuine Udnadata track, Mount Dare track. Right there. Carried that all the way home.
Quartz.
So there you go. 5 fasteners made at home out of 6.
Okay, let's have a look at this Bashplate. I want to see it. Kawasaki Outback.
That's it, mate, isn't it? And you can see, like the inside, it doesn't look too bad, you know.
Yeah, I can see a couple of big hits there.
Big hits on the left there. But then you can see, you turn over, that's where it's like, it's punched the Bashplate up, so therefore the fastener has gone through and come out that way.
Yeah.
And the rest of it is just like constant scar marks lengthwise.
Yeah.
And then the big cutaway, that's for the catalytic converter that sits right there in the mid-pipe section.
Yeah.
And obviously they don't want the Bashplate under that.
No.
For potentially capturing grass or brush or stuff and, you know,
Look, there you go, Sarah. Look at that.
No, there you go, genuine. That was from the Arkaroola Road, but on the way back down to the docks.
Yeah, let's just have a look at that, Clubby. That's that.
Can you recognise what it is? What sort?
Look at that, bloody locust.
Yeah.
Get your head under there and tell me if that cat's all right.
The cat looks fine. That's what's amazing. But, it's solid, mate.
Yeah.
That's why they weigh so much and they pack so much heat.
Yeah.
But I really feel the saving, because you remember these two surrounds frame pieces here.
Yeah.
They're just there to carry the undercarriage. They're not stressed members of the frame. It's a trellis frame design. So like a T7, have those rose bolt. But where this one is saving grace, I reckon, are these two horizontal struts, front and back, that help provide fixing points for the bash plate.
All right.
I can't help but feel that they provide added impact hit at the front when you're really G'ing out low and taking a lot of the hit by supporting the bash plate there.
Yeah.
But mate, that one's, it's done the job. Like I said, 3,900 kilometres, pounding, and mate, we're riding all day in rocks.
Yeah.
The Mount Dare track, when you see the Mount Dare track to Unadata track, 240 Ks, it's just been graded, just been fixed up, just reopened. But my God, the rock washes where they've had to grade the road because the water is running down there and has just worn the track away, and so they've refilled it now with gravel, rocks and wash. Just goes forever, mate, And you can try all you like to avoid the rocks, but you're never going to avoid rocks that long,
No.
And another day, Vaughan Style and I, while we were in Alice, Vaughan wanted to go for a day ride and no one else was keen. And I said, okay, Vaughan, I'll wingman you. And we ended up going into Fink River Gorge, which is about 150 k's west of Alice, and a really renowned off-road biased four-wheel drive track through the Fink River Gorge National Park. And I didn't know what I was in for. And man, we got 35 kilometres into this track, deep sand, and I mean deep sand twin track on the beds of the river, rock farms, baby heads. And I'm thinking, oh man, I'm on the last bike, so low that should be in here. But I actually feel the lowness of the bike helped it so much in those conditions. And it didn't beat me up, didn't wear me out. I never dropped it in there in the sand.
Wow.
But I could retain enough energy to just be doing my best to dodge so many of the rocks, mate, So, yeah, I'm surprised it's handled it as well as it has, because it's not even 1.5 millimetres.
No.
I couldn't be much lighter, mate. No way. So fuel range is a big question. You know what it's like out there, Dave, out in the centre. 16-litre tank. That first ride we did up to Yengo, that 440 kilometre loop we often do on a lot of bikes.
Yeah.
I got over, 24, 25 kilometres per litre.
Yeah.
Okay, then it started heading Outback. The first day, Broken Hill to Hawker, which was open and fast. I think 22 kilometres per litre I averaged there.
Yeah.
The next 2 days, mate, we just coughed the horror headwinds and side winds, and they were ballistic. It dropped down to my worst fuel economy was 16 kilometres per litre. So do the math, and again, that was still, but I still wasn't going slow. It's like it was always pressure to keep up to the group because they were hero riders on bigger bikes. But that's the sort of fuel usage you'll go through, particularly in those headwind and crosswind conditions. So between 16 kilometres a litre to 24 kilometres a litre, depending how fast you're going, how bad the headwinds were, which relates to about 240 kilometres to dry to 360 kilometres dry on the 16-litre
Big
tank.
range.
And I'd always have 4 litres at least in the bladder on the back with me, just in case,
So 4,000 Ks in the dust, Clubby, you've got to be thinking about maintenance, and you know where I'm going to ask, the thing that starts with A.
Yep, it's a pretty obvious question, but a really pertinent question. Okay, so the airbox, it's buried up here under the fuel tank, right? Nice big airbox, straight off the Ninja 500 road bike, I'm sure. They wouldn't have changed any of that. Access, mate, okay. These two side shrouds come off. You've got to loosen forward and aft shrouds, but they can stay in place once you figure it out. Then undo the tank, release the tank. The tank can remain connected to the fuel rail, to the power supply. There's a breather hose front left. It has to come off. Lift the tank, turn it, and it'll sit back out of the way. Then it's 8 screws into the airbox.
Yep.
That gets the top of the airbox off, which is about that big.
It's a big airbox.
It's a big voluminous airbox. Then the paper standard filter, it sits in there facing down. And you've got 2 distinct halves of the airbox, another screw to hold the filter. So that's 9 screws once you've got the tank out of the way.
Yeah.
The tank, the airbox draws in from 2 holes about 1 inch diameter at the front of it, which would be sitting under the fuel tank behind the steering head here.
Yeah. How long? How long did it take you?
Oh, it took an hour to get off and on, but that included undoing the luggage and a bit of palaver.
Yeah.
I reckon you get it down to half an hour, knowing what doesn't have to come off now. But the intake side of the airbox, man, it had dust, grit, dirt. You could tell water had been in there from the Fink River Gorge time, because there were like clumps of dirt that had been it. But then once we got the element out, it was not radically bad.
Right.
But I was being conscious of not minimising
dusting the engine.
intake. But then on the, what would we call it, the
engine
after
side,
the engine side, which is in another two big snorkels straight down into the throttle bodies.
Yeah.
That was clean as a whistle.
Oh, that's
So
good.
It done the job, you know.
Oh, that's
but yeah,
good.
it's palatable. And even if you put pre-filters on those intake holes,
Yeah.
you're going to still have to get the tank off to put them in and then to change them. So
Yeah.
it's still it's a road bias setup.
Clubby, this is an odd one. I mean, you've just done 4,000 kilometres, bog standard, just literally drove it off the showroom floor. It's certainly proved itself. So now you can get on with the build. What's your priorities?
Well, nothing's changed from the first convo we had about this bike.
Yep.
Priority 1A and 1B is the Bashplate.
Yep.
Okay, for sure. And then suspension has got to be the other one. And our mate Clive up at Motorcycle Biz, he's chomping at the bit. You know, he's suggesting that he might be able to get some T7 springs that will work with these forks. He's not so confident yet about the shock.
Yep.
All that to be revealed. But I just would love it to sit a little bit taller. Give me some ground clearance from that Bashplate.
Yep.
But then also know that you've got enough suspension that you don't have to slow down radically. So every hit, hole, dip, floodway, whatever, you know, but make a lot of difference. And I think the thing that makes me feel good is that I've enjoyed riding it for the 4,000 kilometres, and I know I'm only going to enjoy it more once it's got a better Bashplate and it's got a bit of boosted suspension.
Well, I think that's a great way to wrap up. To take a bike straight out of the showroom, ride at 4,000 Ks in the Aussie Outback, and come back and say, you know what, it was good fun.
For a small bore bike, and you know I love small bore bikes, mate. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, like, a lot of people don't, but for people like me that do, the other thing I really want to say, it'll be a great travel bike, and like, dare I say it, for women, you know, it's low by my standard, it's low.
Low centre of gravity.
And, you know, like for round the world travel, and you got that good Japanese, okay, it's built in Thailand, but it's still Japanese overseeing the manufacture and design. The thing feels solid, nothing's come loose, nothing's come out. The chain, I thought, it'd be a crap chain on this price sort of bike. No, it needed one adjustment the whole way, the chain. And mate, no issues with it. No issues.
Well, there you go. Well, I didn't expect to get this report out before I left for England, but there you go. Great to hear from this straight from Clubby's mouth. 4,000 Ks. If you like what we do on Motorcycle Adventure Dirt Bike TV, subscribe, and better still, become a member.
That's right. Member benefits, Dave.
Yeah, because you'll get this early. All right.